What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Miltrick Media. I am your host, Miltrick, and I am here with country and country pop artist Sandra North. Sandra, how's it going? Thank you for being here.
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Yes. Like I was saying before, you are officially my first country artist on the broadcast. I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
Well, thank you. Me too. That's quite the honor.
Yeah, it's amazing. We met on social media, and how now, especially in the music industry in general, social
Yeah.
media is just the new all-encompassing act of everything. You can meet so many people now. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's been crazy. During the pandemic, I've connected with so many artists and promoters and, podcast interviewers, like everything is on social media.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's become a new tool for everything. A&R, reaching
Yeah.
out. Currently, are you independent currently, or are you signed to a label?
No, I'm independent. I have a booking contract in Sweden with a management company. So for bookings, I have a I have some help.
No, yeah, that's cool. No, yeah, so it's
But the
like
rest of it
exactly.
is me. All the promotion, everything, all of that is me.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've talked about with other artists on the platform. I'm an artist as well, independent. So, yeah, when you're independent, would you agree sometimes you're wearing numerous hats at once? You're not just a musician.
Oh God. Yeah, for sure. Oh
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. But I feel like it's nice because I started out kind of my background is within booking and stuff with other artists and shows and festivals and stuff like that. So now I'm kind of, coming full circle, and it's really nice to be able to use that for myself. So I don't mind working hard and using all of these different talents that you have. And usually that is the case for a lot of independent artists.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's awesome. So, in the past, you've had experience with booking shows and events.
Yeah.
That's what you were doing before you fully took off with your solo career?
Well, I've done a lot of things. I've worked in service and hotels and stuff like that too. But I did it like a 2 year education within music and event planning, kind of in Sweden. So I worked for a company for 3 years where I booked like all the artists for the summer festivals there. So it was really cool. I got to meet a lot of cool artists and big names in Sweden, and it was a lot of fun. You got to keep track of so many things, planning wise between the tour manager and the stage, and what's going on backstage and the dressing room and the writers and all of those things. So I love organizing. So it was a great job for me. I loved it. I just wished I started noticing more and more that hey, I want to be on stage too. So
Yeah. That's
where I'm
amazing.
at now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because I went to school in New York for a music industry program. I graduated with a degree in music
Cool.
industry. So we got to learn about booking, marketing. It
Yeah.
was a little bit of everything, legal issues in the
Yeah.
industry, contracts. So that's
Yeah.
cool. You have like a
Exactly.
similar
Same. Yeah.
background. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
No,
you
it's
are
nice.
originally, yeah, you're originally from Sweden, right? Where in
Yeah.
Sweden?
Oh, it's a small town called Trosa. Like 5,000 people town. It's very small. It's like an hour south of Stockholm, but it's really nice. It's by the ocean, and we do get a lot of tourists in the summer.
Yeah, that's all. I've always
Yeah,
wanted to go to Stockholm because I just want to go around Europe. And Stockholm was really the only major city I know, but I heard Sweden is beautiful. It'd be amazing to go someday.
yeah.
What
It
is it
gets
like up
cold in the
there?
winter, but the summers are really nice.
Sounds really nice. Yeah. So, what was it like growing
Yeah,
up there? What is the music scene like in Sweden?
we are very good at pop. I would say it's very pop oriented, and through my dad, I got a lot of like the classic rock stuff as well. And I would say that Sweden is very influenced by American music, so all of that is constantly on the radio as well. A lot of Swedish artists though sing in English, so I think I have like an advantage because of that. Like
Hmm.
I started singing in English before I kind of knew what I was saying because that's what I heard. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Same thing with me. My parents, my first influences growing up with music was classic rock. They exposed me to a lot of their favorite artists. So that as well.
Yeah.
And listening to a lot
Yeah.
of like classic rock and pop radio in New York, that
Yeah.
was my first exposure.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, there
cool
was
though.
always music playing in the house, and I love that. Like because my parents love music so much, like I had it like actively all along.
Yeah. In your family and
Yeah.
your parents, are they musicians as well?
I would say my dad more than my mom. Maybe my mom likes to sing, but she never really did it like professionally. But yeah, I think they're musical people, and my dad played the guitar and like the trumpet and stuff when he was growing up. So he introduced me to instruments and stuff when I was really young.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
At what
Yeah.
age did you realize you wanted to become a songwriter, a musician?
I think it was always my dream. I just didn't know how to make it into reality, because you think that dreams are just, there to have them. But, it was like a huge leap realizing that I can actually do this. So, I think I just always wanted to do that. When I was really little, if I found a stage, or I pretended that I built my own stage in my room with a couple of chairs, and, I pretended I was performing to people. That's what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
What are your biggest influences in music?
That's such a hard one because there's so many different ones.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's all good. You can go through.
There's a lot of rock in me because I grew up with Status Quo. It's a British band, like AC/DC, Queen, Bon Jovi, like a lot of that, like a lot of attitude in me. And then, but on the as well, all the big divas like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, like all of those, like with the great voices. I adore them, and I've listened to them like crazy growing up. So yeah, a lot of different things. And then, when in the 90s, when Britney came out, like I just adore her performance. So I've just, because I love to dance. So I'm huge fan of hers.
No, yeah, for sure. Her performances were always over the top. Yeah, there was more the choreography. There was a lot involved. Which was cool. She was huge when I was growing up too. Yeah, 90s, 2000. She was selling so many records, top of the charts. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there was like not a lot of dance classes where I was growing up. So I recorded her videos on VHS. I had my sweet little sister pausing the video frame by frame so I could learn the choreographies. That's the level of like how much I adored her and wanted to dance. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So even last year in 2020, you were nominated top 10 artist through Boots of Europe, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That's amazing. Let's talk about that. How did that all come to be? And like, what was the rise like basically? So you were releasing music throughout the last couple of years. Like, when did you release your first solo material?
It was like 6 months before the pandemic, I would say. Like September 2019 is when I finally had my first single ready. Mm-hmm. We worked on that for like a year. It took a little while. And when that came out, all the promotion thing was kind of new to me, but I'm used to, working hard and doing whatever I can. So I started promoting that, and I had it on the radio in Sweden for 15 weeks. It went to number 1 in the local charts in my state.
That's amazing.
Really, really cool. Yeah, I was very, very surprised by all the support in Sweden, because I didn't know really where I was at back home, because I kind of left and started my music over here. Mm-hmm. So it was super cool to see that support. And and then I had my second single ready like right when the pandemic hit, pretty much. So luckily I had been in the studio and we were working on these 5 songs that ended up on my EP. So I was able to do a lot from home, and I mean, there was a pandemic. So I just promoted and networked, and through other artists, I got a hold of Linda from Boots of Norway. It was Boots of Norway to start with, but she's expanded so much that like now it's Boots of Europe, because she has so many followers and fans.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So when that started taking off through that, you weren't currently in Sweden. You already moved to America, and then that's when the song started gaining traction at radio in Sweden?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool. So when did you make the move from Sweden to the West Coast? Currently, you're in California, in LA by Hollywood, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when did you make the move?
In late 2015.
Cool. So what was that like? Were you nervous when you were about to move? Like, how long before 2015 did you know, like, all right, I got to make the jump to the States and I want to go to California? How long ago before that did you know that I have to do this?
I think I always wanted to come here. I've always had a thing for America. I just didn't know how to, like, it felt so far away. I didn't know how to do it. And then a friend of mine recommended like this what's it called? Like a lecture kind of, where they advise you on schools and stuff. So I came out here the first time in 2013, and I lived in Santa Barbara for 6 months just to kind of try it out. And I think from that moment, like I knew that I need to be here. So even though I went home for 2 years in between, I was just super motivated on like coming back, starting my career, starting, getting up on stage, starting to sing, and just making my way back here somehow. So yeah, it took 2 years, and then I came back.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's talk about the Long Time Coming EP. So when you first released that, you released that in 2020, correct?
2021.
2021.
Last year. Yeah, like 6 months ago, sort of, kind of, yeah.
6 months ago. But you started working on that in 2020. You were in the studio in 2020 working on that throughout the pandemic?
Yeah, we recorded a lot from home, and we recorded some in the studio the year before that, yeah.
That's awesome. So let's talk about that EP. Where was your head at when you were creating this body of work, and what did you want to accomplish with Long Time Coming?
Well, for me, it's just been incredible to be able to release music, because I wasn't sure that I would ever do that or get the chance to do that. So it's, I feel like these are songs that I've been, wanting to come out for a really long time. And when I met my guitarist, Juana Beja, who is also a brilliant songwriter and producer, we combined our talents, and great songs started coming out. So I'm super proud of these songs, and they're kind of my first stories that I'm sharing with the world. And the title of the album just felt very natural, because that's how I feel, that it's really been in the making for a long time, and it's been a dream of mine for so long that it needed to be titled that.
Yeah, and I've seen on your Instagram recently, you've been working with collaborators like Michael Reed and Mark Highlander in the studio, right? And we're in Rancho Relaxo, is it called? Is that the name of the studio?
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Michael is a dear friend of ours now, and he's super cool to work with, and very talented. And he's worked with people like Steven Tyler and Mick Jagger before. He's got all the talent in the world, and I work with him on my Christmas song also, because it's written by him.
Yeah.
And now we started recording my next song, so we tracked some drums, and I'm excited. We've been recording all week, and I hope we'll have it done soon.
That's exciting. Yeah. We're at Rancho Relaxo. Is that where you were also working on Long Time Coming, or that was all before? You were working in a different studio with that EP?
Yeah, the EP is recorded in Burbank at a studio called the Rattle Room.
Nice, that's awesome.
And the Christmas song was recorded at Michael Reed's place. Yeah,
that's cool. So even before, let's talk about your process when you're writing and you're about to head to the studio. Do you do a lot of pre-production, let's say at home or before you head to the studio, or do you just let it all out once you get there? Like, what is your preparation like before you go to the studio with writing?
I think it's been a little bit of both. Sometimes we have less done maybe before, but I've been lucky also to have access to studios through my school. So sometimes, you get like 8 hours in the studio, and you can really be there and just take your time and figure stuff out and be creative and let it come to you, which has been super cool to see that process sort of, and to be lucky to get to do that. Sometimes, of course, like it's more, we always have kind of the song and the lyrics, but then you shape it kind of more when you're there, I guess.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Does it make sense?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great point. I know exactly what you're saying. Because with my school as well, when I was there, we were able to, because when I studied music industry, I was also doing audio, and they had school studios there, and we would like sign out overnights. We'd do class projects. And now that I'm out of university, I miss it so much, because like, I wanted to soak it all in, because now you got to pay money whenever you're in the studio. It's not the same as when you get to have it on your campus. So I know exactly what you mean. I miss that a lot. We got to kind of get used to it a little bit. I got to be introduced to Pro Tools and MIDI and all that stuff. That was before all that was like foreign to me. I had no idea. Like, it was complete, like,
same,
out of my head. I had no idea until I went and tried to just like figure it out. It was still complex, but That's
Plus,
cool,
I love the fact that everybody's so creative and talented at different things. Like when you're in school, because everybody's there to to create things and to be active, and everybody has this drive, and it's so easy to find like other skilled musicians or audio engineers or whatever you need. It was like a great place to network. So I really miss my school too.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the first single I was introduced to by you. The first song I came across was you. I saw on Wish USA Bus. That was a live video and recording you did that you put it on your IG and everything like that?
Yeah.
That was really cool. That's a great song. So let's talk about the inspiration behind that song. What inspired the lyrics for that song?
Well, it's a love song, and I just it's harder for me to write really happy love songs, and I just felt like that song just made me happy and had all these feelings of being in love, or loving someone really deeply, that it might that person that kind of changes how you see things and how you think, and it kind of makes you a better person. So like whether it's an inspiration, like a mentor, or like your dad or your husband, like whatever it is, I kind of wanted to direct it to that person that makes you feel that way, kind of.
Yeah
For
sure. That's awesome. How long were you in the studio writing that song? Was that one of those songs that just came flowing out really quick, or did you spend a little while on the arrangement and the lyrics, stuff like that?
My other guitarist, Casey Lau, wrote the music, and I wrote the lyrics kind of on the go. Like I had to get it done kind of fast. So I wrote them, I think, during just a couple of days. Like I really wrote that like on the bus or like wherever I was at. I had little napkins. It sounds so cliche. I really had little napkins.
Now listen, whatever works, right?
Yeah.
Whatever
because I had
that's
to
cool.
get it done. And when I get inside a song like that, it's just constantly in my head, and I try to puzzle it out and find the right words for it.
Yeah, that's cool. So even Wish USA, it was like a radio station, and like, was that like a contest, or is that a place out in it's a radio station out in California?
Yeah. Yes.
Wish USA, yeah.
And they they have a lot of artists, so you have to kind of get in line to get to go perform. They have that bus that parks like here and there around Hollywood and LA, and it's super cool, and it was a pleasure getting to play.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Experience, yeah.
I've only been to California twice, but it was for 2 or 3 days, because with my school, we went to NAMM in Anaheim, that convention, cool. But we didn't really get to explore LA. We just landed in like LAX, then we had to drive right to Anaheim. I went to Santa Monica for a day, but I never got to explore LA or Hollywood.
Oh, wow. Well, you need to come back then.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So like, what is it like out there? What is Los Angeles and Hollywood like?
I just love it. Like the weather first and foremost, and just nature and palm trees. And it's just very soothing, and it makes me very happy. I mean, you can do anything. Like there's a lot of hiking, a lot of mountains, vintage stores or whatever, you want to go shopping, or a lot of like the Grove, or like nice little parks and stuff.
Yeah, no, I can imagine the palm trees, beach anytime you want. I mean, yesterday I was on my way back from work, and it just started like snowing. It was raining yesterday in New York.
Oh no.
So you're thinking about that. It's like,
well, I know the feeling.
Yeah, you know the feeling. Yeah, I thought spring was coming early, but what are you going to do? But even back in Sweden, right? When you were growing up and through your childhood, were you going to a lot of concerts when you were younger? What was your first concert you ever went to?
Well, that's a hard one. I have to really think, because I was raised in a small town, there wasn't like a whole lot maybe in my town. And then I was kind of, I had the overprotective dad who didn't really want to let me go and let me go alone to Stockholm. So it took a little while before I saw like an arena thing. I think maybe I was even in my 20s. It might have been Shakira. Or Christina Aguilera, I'm not sure. Otherwise, of course, you see smaller artists play in like smaller venues, maybe.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
So let's also move on and talk about My Song. So My Song, that's a single from yours that came out recently, and you recently dropped a music video. And I noticed that song, a great song, and the imagery too in the video, like it was very about like family and nostalgia. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what inspired that direction for the video?
Usually when I start writing the song, I kind of already get visuals. Maybe I don't know. I'm a very like visual person, and I love photography, so I take pictures too. So maybe that's why, like, I start already having ideas in my head, and because that song is about my upbringing and me, and my dreams and my journey, and all of those things that I want to inspire other people to also, go after. I just really wanted it to be personal. So
Yeah.
because I didn't have access to old footage of myself, we had the idea to have my niece play me, which was super super cool. I'm very honored, and she was like a year and a half in that video, and my sister went around like shooting her, and they went to all the places where I grew up, so everything is very authentic. It's the summer house we had when I was little. It's the lake where I learned how to swim. It's like the river where we went fishing. It's all of those things. So
Oh
it was
wow, that's
really
amazing. I
cool
didn't
for me to
realize.
have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize. And that was your niece in the video. Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, that really ties it in and like solidifies that family theme, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah. And then it's my dad. It's my actual dad in the video too. So he's very proud.
Has the rest of your family, have they been out to the States as well, like LA?
Yeah, my sister's been here a lot, and my dad came out once, and then some of my close friends. But I'm very close with my sister, so in the beginning she would come like every 6 months or so because it was hard for us to be apart. But now that she has a family, it's a little harder for her to travel.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
So we talked earlier how you have experience in booking, live booking, stuff like that, and you implement that into your solo career currently. When you're
Yeah.
an independent artist, you have to sometimes go about booking on your own as well. You don't always have contacts. What advice would you
Yeah.
give to artists starting out who are ready to play shows? Best tips and advice. How do you properly reach out to a booking agent to try and solidify shows? What would you recommend?
I would say just like don't be scared. Don't like I think a lot of times we put like excuses in our heads maybe, or we think that it's harder than it actually is. Usually the only thing you need to do is actually pick up the phone, because doing that you're going to figure the rest out, and you're going to get further than by not doing it at all. So like I've dealt a lot with that myself, because you can still have anxiety like, oh, I have to call this person, but just like really just do it. That's the best advice I can give you.
No, that's great advice. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
have to start implementing whatever knowledge you've learned and just, you got to go for it. If you get rejected, it happens and you just move on.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
got to
and
go
you
for it
always
though.
learn. So for next time to maybe do something differently, or um yeah. I mean, if I email, of course I put together like a nice press release, and you there's some technical stuff that you can think about and make sure that it looks professional and all that. But other than that, I think the action of it is the most important thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you reach out, do you recommend doing it through DM or email?
I do both. It kind of depends on the outlet, like who I'm trying to contact.
Yeah.
If I find it easier to email because I have everything like combined very nicely in my email. It's easier to send links and stuff than it is on Instagram, but a lot of people really only work through Instagram, so it's easier to like then you have to contact them there.
Yeah, right. That
Yeah.
became like a new directory. Sometimes you can only
Yeah.
contact people or you can only find them through Instagram or a
Yes.
social channel. You just got to go through that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you also use electronic press kits? Like, how important do you think that is for an independent artist?
I have one on my website. Yeah. With everything combined, I don't know how important it is. Like I haven't really. Some bookers and venues have asked for it, so I think it's nice just to have it as an option. But um, as long as you get everything in that email, you have your links and you have your bio and all that, I think you're good to go.
Yeah, for sure. And you have a
Yeah.
website too as well. Do you think it's important for an artist to work on a website right away or wait until, let's say, they have some material out and a following?
Well, you need some material to have, things to put there. So I don't think it's the first thing you need to do, but I think it solidifies that you look like a serious artist. Kind of. It's nice to have somewhere to go and refer people and where you have everything gathered.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah. So you showed me earlier, right before we started recording, you have a copy of the EP with you on CD. Let's show it to the camera. Show it to the audience. We want to see it. There we go. I do. I
Can
miss
you see it
CDs so
well?
much. Turn it around. You got like a back. You got lyrics in there, anything like that?
I have. Let's see here. Well, yes. The what do you call it? The track list.
That's awesome. You got the track list. You got the credits on there.
Yes, for sure. And I mean, there are some pictures inside as well. If you guys want to order it, please just DM me and and I'll ship one your way.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys want to check it out, make sure you hit her up on that, on her website or her DM if you want to cop a new copy of her EP. So where'd you take those photos? The back and front cover, the album cover. Where did you take those photos in California?
Yeah, I did. It was during the pandemic, and we went out in the desert, Lancaster, outside of Lancaster. It was kind of an hour away from where we're at here in Hollywood. I'm really happy. It was very deserted and very cool surroundings, and I had basically my my producer, guitarist, songwriting partner. It was a pandemic, so we did what we had to be creative. So I had him take the pictures. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. I used to love getting CDs growing up. I mean, like I would go to Best Buy even when I was in middle school. And by then, they weren't even really buying, no one was buying CDs. Like my friends would be like, why are you buying a CD, dude? It's like it's 2009. What are you doing? I was like 11, but I still because I was a little kid and like no one had vinyl, but like a CD was still like a real thing. And I'd love looking at the, like the booklets and stuff like that. Yeah. And now it's cool. I guess like it's kind of a resurgence. Like now vinyl came back so crazy and cassettes did too.
Oh,
wow. Do you also have that EP on vinyl or just CD as of now?
Just CDs so far. It would be really cool to have vinyl too, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Did you used to buy a lot of CDs when you were younger of your favorite artists?
Oh God, yeah. I have a huge collection. Huge. Yeah. I will never throw them out. I treasure them very highly.
No, me neither. Yeah, because I used to have when I first started driving, like I had an older 2001 car and it had the 6 discs in the back. You could put 6 CDs in there. So I would buy CDs just for that. Yeah, like
that's kind of fancy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So CDs will always have a special place in my heart. Even when I was in high school, my band, like we got like 500 CDs printed too. We tried to sell them at shows back then. It was fun. It just felt real,
Yeah, no, exactly. Like there wasn't like a whole lot of people telling me to print it. I just pretty much printed it for myself because I felt like it felt more real, and I'm proud of my accomplishments, and I want to be able to like physically hold it because I never thought that I would get to do this, and have something like this of my own. So, but actually it's like really cool too because I've sold a bunch and people want them signed, and it's a nice thing to be able to give or to have because people do ask for it. Yeah.
No, 100%. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And you could always, I agree. It's great to have a physical copy and it's real. It's just like this holding this thing you created because it's like your baby in a way, like these songs you made, this whole project.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's talk about live shows. So recently, correct me if I'm wrong, you played at Sugar Mill Saloon. That was a recent show performance, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That's cool. So what other shows do you have lined up for upcoming months in 2022? What's your touring looking like or live performances?
I'm still waiting on a couple of things in Sweden and Europe. We'll see what happens. I might get to go to the UK and play a little bit, which would be super cool. But I do have a show. I have a festival booked in Sweden this summer, so that's going to be very cool.
Oh wow! Is there any details you can share with us? Like what festival are you going to be playing?
It's called like Josie City. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it like Joce, Josie City. It's a cool little Western town that they built like in my state, which is really random in Sweden. So I'm so excited to go see and check it out. It's very authentic. People walk around in like Western outfits and all. And it's a 3-day festival. They have artists every weekend, but I'm booked in July when they have like a 3-day festival with only country artists. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So even like in terms of your pre-show rituals, when you're prepping for a show, like do you have a favorite activity you like to do to get amped up or to calm down? You got a favorite food you like to eat before each show? Any rituals? What do you got?
Wow. Oh, exciting. Well, if I'm not too stressed, because sometimes you just gotta, you know, get your ass over there. But
Yeah.
I do like sometimes I like to do sit-ups, really, just to like kind of I take a walk, like go hiking or do sit-ups or something to just kind of get my, blood streaming and, get like physically ready and warm up and stuff. Um it has happened that I have this Whitney Houston song that I adore and that like has a lot of energy and it kind of gets me psyched. Um, I'm Every Woman. That has happened that I play that a lot. Uh, yeah, maybe a shot of whiskey. I'm not like a few couple things maybe that
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
done. A glass of wine or a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, anything goes. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier in your episode, yeah, like Whitney Houston was a big influence. You also, when you were younger, you were exposed to a lot of
Yes.
classic rock influences and also a lot of pop singers and artists. So what inspired the country direction? What made you want to fall in love with country and create country music?
I think it was just like the first time I kind of encountered people from the South. I went traveling to the South. It's just like so charming. And I didn't really hear a whole lot of country in Sweden at first. But when like 10 years ago, when I started traveling here more, my sister and me we went like cross country and we spent some time in Alabama and Oklahoma and like Florida as well. And it's just everywhere. And it's hard not to love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the storytelling. It's like it's I feel also like pop music today doesn't really look the same as when I grew up. So for me, it's I gravitate more towards country today. That's where I feel more like at home and where I can express myself.
Yeah. Have you ever
Yeah,
been to Nashville as well?
I have
You
finally,
have?
finally. Yeah, this October.
Oh,
So a couple months ago.
so you went only a couple months ago in October in 2021.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I went for the first time. It was a 13-hour drive. I went in September of 2020 and I
Oh
went for
wow.
a week. I've always wanted to go. Yeah, it was amazing. I really liked it. The city was amazing.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun. I definitely want to go back there. Maybe not drive this time. It was a 13-hour drive and we kind of just booked it. It was a long day,
yeah,
but it was a lot of fun. It was like music all night, just like and
yeah.
like Broadway, that strip, it was just insane.
Mhm.
So much music,
Yeah,
amazing music. The food
yeah.
was out of this world.
Yeah. No, I wasn't sure what to expect because I thought, like, what if it's like, what if I built it up in my head and then it's not all that? So I was kind of nervous almost.
Yeah,
But I,
yeah.
yeah, because you never know. But I spent only 4 days there, I think, but it was amazing. Like I met so many people. Everyone is so friendly. I sang like my first night. Someone pulled me up on stage. Like it's such a nice environment, and everybody's just happy. And yeah, I sold a couple of albums. People support your music the second they hear that you're an artist. So it was really cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, people down there, like if even when I went, a lot of people had like they had records, cassettes, they had CDs, and people were still buying the merch and the music in person, like
Yeah,
after shows. People were just showing support. They do other
yeah,
places, of course, but yeah, that's the cool part about having the physical copies, because especially at shows, people just may connect and they'll just buy it because they love the performance,
yeah,
and then boom, you got a new fan.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool though. So, what country artists, are you listening to right now? Who are your biggest country music influences at the moment?
Well, I adore Kip Moore. That's just my guy. That's I've seen him like 8 or 9 times all over the country. So I really love his music. But as far as female role models, I gravitate towards Carrie Underwood and Miranda Lambert, I'd say.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, moving forward with the rest of 2022, what do you have planned for the rest of the year?
We'll see. It's kind of a new year for me because I'm spending more time in Sweden as well with my family and going back and forth a bit. So it's I think there's a lot of new things in store and we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't really say much, but because I don't know a lot myself, but I will still I'm working on songs. I'll release more music and see what kind of opportunities I can find in Sweden as well.
yeah. You were mentioning that we have the festival in the summer coming up, and you're in the studio
Yeah.
currently. So, yeah, do you have some singles coming out later in the year? Are you working on an album or an EP? What do you have working on in the studio?
I'm working on it so far as one new song that we've kind of had for 2.5 years or so. Like, I love this song. We just didn't manage to finish it yet. And when we were working on the EP, I thought about including it, but at the same time, I think it's so good as like kind of the first single after the EP. So I've kind of been saving it, and I'm really excited to have it done and to be able to release it.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But we have more songs that in store, so we'll keep writing and recording and get as much music out there as we can.
Yeah, for sure. With this new single coming out, you got any exclusive details you can let us know? You have a title in mind for it?
I do, but I'm not gonna.
No, it's all good.
Tell too much.
It's all good. You got to keep it under wraps. I get it. For the marketing, I get it. That's cool though. Right now, and what you're working on in the studio, the music you're working on currently, are you with the same collaborators that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah. I'm still working with my songwriter producing partner, Juana Besha.
Nice.
He co-wrote. Awesome. He writes the music. I write the lyrics, and he is just brilliant when he puts everything together. Yeah.
Nice. So before we wrap it up, what else would you like to share with the audience? Feel free to promote anything. What else would you like to let us know?
Oh, well, check out my new video, but you mentioned that already. My song, it's on YouTube. Go get the EP. Text me, sure. Follow me on Instagram or Spotify or wherever you want. But go get the EP and follow me so that I can see you on tour. Like whenever I go play places, I would love to see y'all.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, feel free to plug whatever. What social media profiles would you like to share with? Yeah, where can we find you on social media? Let the audience know.
Yes. So on Instagram, it's Sandra North _official. If you go to Facebook, it's Sandra North Music. Website, sandranorthofficial.com. And that's it, I guess. Spotify, of course, and YouTube, but that's Sandra North. And you guys know that already.
Yeah. Make sure to check it out on Instagram, Spotify. Check out her music and videos on YouTube. She has a few music videos out. What about Twitter, TikTok? Do you have anything like that?
I got Twitter, yes. Not as active there, but yes, I have it.
I got you. That's cool. Well, yeah, be sure to check out Sandra North's music. Follow her on IG. Check her out on YouTube. Go to her website. Talk to her. Reach out. Go see her on tour. She got some shows coming up. Really exciting. And get a CD copy of her EP, Long Time Coming. That's really cool to see. Yeah, she's got CDs. Hit her up. Follow her. Sandra, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yes, of course. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to another episode of Miltrick Media. I'm here with Sandra North, a country artist from California, originally from Sweden. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, and we will see you soon.